Hello again. Chase the Traveler in the house with a new episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that a few of you have emailed me about. Something that a few of you want to know. You want to know if you can impress the Japanese ladies over here with a lot of money in your pocket. You want to know if the ladies go for that over here. Well, you know something? I'm going to tell you, because I know a little something about this. I have a different view on this subject based on what I've seen. And I've tested out this theory even though I didn't have any money in my pocket. And I could say for sure that most likely you're not going to impress a Japanese lady with money. Actually, there are some Japanese ladies that you can actually impress with money, and I'll tell you about that. Maybe not in this episode, but in a different episode. All right. Let me tell you, when I first got to Japan, 1991, you know, I would say that I definitely wasn't a hot commodity back in New York City, but in Japan, I had a little bit of charm. The ladies, not all of them, but way more ladies in Japan found me attractive, found me charming. And let me tell you, I didn't have any money in my pocket back then. Still don't, but definitely back then had way less money in my pocket walking down these streets. Now, one lady that I met early on, she was a fox. I mean, I know that I showed you, or I made an episode on a woman that I fell in love with. Now, there was another one that looked way better than that one. She was most certainly a fox. I mean, you walk down the street and people were like, whew. I mean, I was impressed. My friends were impressed. I mean, I had to hide this lady. Turns out this lady had a lot of money. I mean, I was riding around with a bicycle. And when we'd set up dates, I would have to put my bicycle in the trunk of her car. So you can imagine how embarrassing that was for me. But she definitely wasn't looking for a guy with cash. She had it. Not only did she have money, I mean, she was paying for everything. And I was receiving that. But that lady also, she was smart. She wasn't an imbecile or anything. She was like one of the smartest Japanese ladies that I dealt with. I mean, she had it going on. Well, let me tell you, this lady had her own house. She never ever asked me for anything. And it was all about the heart. She wanted me, of course I wanted her. I didn't have any cash, and she didn't care. So, if you ask me whether or not Japanese ladies cared much about me having cash or money, I would say for my entire time, or for the entire time that I've been here, I didn't think so. I never felt that way. And there's another incident that, I mean, it's not an incident. There was another theory. No, let's not say theory. There was another reason why I came to the conclusion that, yeah, Japanese ladies are not after foreign men who have money is when I first, no, I'd say about 3 or 4 months when I first got to Japan, there was a foreign guy. I'm not going to say his name because we still talk. There was a foreign guy that had been here for about 14 years before I got here. Now, he was speaking Japanese back when I thought foreigners who spoke Japanese were cool. So, I mean, he was pretty impressive. Not only that, he had what I thought at the time was a lot of money because he was driving around with like really, really fancy cars. I'm talking about he had Rolls Royces. He had Porsches. He had Ferraris. Now, for me, seeing a black man in Japan, which I thought Japan was like expensive, which it was at the time, and he's driving around with Ferraris, he's driving around with Rolls Royces, he's got his own Porsche. I was like, darn, that's like cool. So either way, I'm gonna call him Freeze. That's not his real name, but I'm just gonna call him Freeze. Well, Freeze was really approachable. I mean, it was like, you know, he was black, I was black. I was in Japan, he was in Japan, so, you know, I was out in Shinsaibashi one night and I saw him in his Ferrari, cruising around. Now, me, I had never been in a Ferrari before. Heck, I'd never been in a sports car before. So he was like, hey, dude, just hop in. Let's go ride around. And I was like, what? Let's go ride? Sure. So I get in the car. I mean, the first thing that hit me was how uncomfortable the Ferrari was. I mean, he had a brand new one. And the seats were hard, but it was a real Ferrari. So I figured, hey, I'm going to be hopping around, cruising around with the man. He's got the Ferrari. And back then I was young. I was green. So I thought that we were going to catch some ladies because it's way better than doing it on a bicycle like I was doing. So I get into Freeze's Ferrari. And of course, I was thinking that, hey, you know, we're gonna go cruising around. We're gonna get some ladies. We're gonna go and we're gonna score tonight because, hey, I've been doing it on foot. So if I can do it on foot, there's no way that I'm not gonna be able to do it in a Ferrari. So you got two black guys in a Ferrari. The top's off. They can clearly see us. Most of the ladies were just ignoring us. I just could not understand it. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, here we are, we're in a $250,000 or I don't know, $150,000, $250,000 car. We're cruising around Shinsaibashi. But we did that for about 2-3 hours. We didn't get anything. And I was like, hold on a second, wait a minute. I mean, we tried. I mean, I think I probably had more luck on a bicycle. We cruised around, we drove around, we went to all the normal places where people are hanging out. We stood by the car. We tried to talk to a few ladies, but we weren't scoring nothing. We weren't any ladies to look at us. I mean, for anything, I thought the ladies were probably scared of us. So, can you impress normal Japanese ladies by showing them that you have money? The answer is probably no. Because, honestly, when you look at the Japanese ladies that a lot of rich men in America are with, like Nicolas Cage, I mean, these ladies would not be considered pretty here in Japan. And Nicolas Cage has money. I don't know if he's married to a second Japanese wife or first or whatever. Then you have John Lennon. I mean, Yoko Ono, he was rich. Yoko Ono was definitely not the prettiest looking Japanese lady. But again, before you guys just tear me up with all the love is in the eyes of the beholder, which is true. I'm just saying that if you take the standard or the beauty standard that the people here in Japan have, Yoko wouldn't be it, and Nicolas Cage's wife wouldn't be it. But just to stay on topic, you know, me and Freeze, we went around, we cruised around, we hollered at quite a few ladies. Again, this could have been like 30 years ago. We didn't get nothing. And that's in the most expensive car. So I would say that if you're thinking that you're going to come to Japan and all of a sudden you're going to show the ladies that you got money in your pocket and somehow that's going to work, I honestly don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you're going to impress anybody like that. Well, like I said, you're not going to impress the normal ladies like that. You might definitely impress somebody else, some of the ladies that are looking for that. And I'll talk about that, like I said, either in this episode or a different episode. But basically, when I came over here, the fact that I didn't have anything and I was popular, and the fact that a lot of foreigners come over here and don't have much and they're popular. Now, those days are gone, of course. But that should tell you that the ladies over here aren't too concerned about that. They don't really care about what you have in your pocketbook. They want to like you. But right now, like I said, I mean, the pickings are slim. They're not like what they used to be. So you're not going to be getting what was out there 30 years ago. And I don't think your pocketbook is really going to give you like an unfair advantage based on what I've seen. And it is a shocker. It most certainly is a shocker. But it's true. I mean, sometimes I've seen guys at bars and clubs trying to sell themselves. Oh, well, I do this, I do that. I have this, I have that. And the ladies aren't really buying it. So I think you got to have a different game when you come over here to Japan. Talking about how much money you got in your pocket, or having money in your pocket or in your bank account, driving around nice fancy cars, is not really all that effective when it comes to gaining a lady's heart. But you would think it would be, because that's the image that's portrayed out here. Or, I mean, not only in Japan, but I mean throughout the world. That the guys with the cash, the guys with the nice cars, they're the ones who are getting the ladies. But if that was true, I mean, I remember putting my bicycle in back of the in back of a Fox's BMW, and so and pretty much she was taking care of the bills. I mean, not the big bills, but like the small bills. So it didn't really take any cash to do that. It didn't really take, I would say, it didn't really help me. Honestly, ladies over here are funny, where they might even like you if you don't have cash, but then you're just acting stupid. It's a sad, I mean, I don't know if it's a sad truth, but it's a truth. It's a truth. It's a reality. And people over here are definitely not going to, I mean, the ladies over here, I don't think are going to be too impressed if your pocketbook is big, but they don't like your personality. If your pocketbook is big, but they don't like you. So what should you do? I guess you just got to be normal. You got to be natural and hope that that works. Hello. 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 Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, it would be nicer if the ladies did that. I mean, this episode is about the ladies. But most certainly, I mean, you got to give them credit, because they're not that shallow, and it's not all about how much money you got in your pocket or what you can do for them. And I've got to say that about the ladies over here. It's really not about that. But there are ladies over here where you can definitely impress them with the amount of money that you have. You can definitely I would say gain their respect with the amount of cash that you generate. Now those ladies are like semi-pros. They're not pros, but they're like semi-pros. And they will gladly relieve you of your hard-earned cash without any hesitation. And I mean, I'm going to be talking about that in a different episode, but I'll give you a little hint. You've got the hostesses over here. Now, hostesses are the ladies that you see hanging outside. They're the ladies that you see at night. They're the ladies that entertain the salaryman or the businessmen. I don't know where they get that, the salaryman. I mean, when I was a kid in America, that term was never used. But those ladies, you go up to their bar with a wad of cash, that's very impressive. You keep going back to the bar with a wad of cash. You might have yourself a mistress or a girlfriend. Now, I'm not sure if that's what you want. I wouldn't want that. But clearly, you can definitely impress the semi-pros with a wad of cash. Now, you're going to have to spend it too. You can't just show it and not do anything, because then they won't believe it. And then what they do is they tease you little by little And some of them end up getting all the cash and leaving you with nothing at all. Again, I was never into that. But my little ride with Freeze was definitely an eye-opener. Because I definitely thought that, hey, you got the Mercedes-Benz and you cruise around and a woman sees that, you're it. Not true. You got the Ferrari and you're cruising around at night, you're definitely going to get the girl. You're going to get multiple girls. Not true. You go to a bar and you're spending money on champagne, buying everybody drinks, are you going to get the girl? Maybe. She might be drunk. But that's one good thing about the ladies over here, is that when you're with them, they do like you. Initially. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way. I don't think it's always, I mean, you know, it might succeed, but it might not. But of course, I strongly believe that the Japanese ladies are most certainly not going to be impressed with money, just based on the fact that I don't really see that. And I haven't really seen that. And I've tested out the theory. I've tested out my theory, and I've proven it to myself multiple times. Multiple times. And Freeze, I mean, he did well, but I don't think he ever got a lady due to the fact that he drove nice cars. And he told me that. He was like, you know, you can't get girls with nice cars. And I think he was kind of shocked because he was in the nice car every day. He worked in that industry. So eventually I was tired of driving around in that car, because it wasn't like, you know, I mean, the Ferrari was nice, but the problem with the car is that it's not comfortable to be in. It's not comfortable to sit in it. So after 2 or 3 hours of just striking out, I was like, I didn't know what was worse, riding in the Ferrari or striking out. So it was like, you know something, it's not even worth it. I mean, the car's not even, you know, let me check you out later. Let's talk. So eventually I left. He was like, hey, where are you going? I'm like, well, you know, we're just wasting time over here. I mean, the car's not doing anything for us. So there you have it. Can you impress Japanese ladies with money? Can you get a nice Japanese girl if you have a lot of cash? The answer to that question is no. Anyway, Chase the Traveler, thanks again. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. Buy me a coffee. I'm available for consultations. ChaseTheTraveler@gmail.com. Talk to me.